Today, I have a thorn in my hip. She's here. But also a very good friend. We haven't known each other long, but I feel like I've known her for forever. What?
The thorn in the hip just totally took me. Like, let's start over.
No, I got you. No,
It's called a thorn in your hip.
A thorn in my hip.
She loves me.
I do love her. That good thorn that just be there and like it's there. It don't always bother you, but sometimes it just hits you a certain way. This is very much her. I love her to death. Yes, I do love you. But do you need some tissue? Peace, family, and welcome back to Rooted in Muddy Waters podcast. I am your girl, Tomikaya Latoya. This is your podcast for all things healing, growth, and enlightenment. Healing all aspects of self, growth to our higher selves, and the enlightenment that we need to do so. Today, as you can see, I have a friend of the pod. Like, she already know this is not going to be her last time here. Like, it's just not happening. But my good friend, the thorn in my side. And I'm not talking about a bad thorn. Like, she's like that thorn, like that thing just stick in your side. It don't always bother you or irritate you, but just sometimes it just do like little things, like talk about your height and stuff like that just kind of like just get you. That's who she is. Love her to death. We haven't known each other very long, but I feel like I've known her forever. We're kindred spirits. And I would like to welcome Tyrissa to the podcast.
Thank you for having me. Let's go ahead and address the thorn in the hip thing.
Okay,
number one, you're short. Okay, so that's not me.
But I know this. You don't have to always tell me.
Right, but every time I see it's a new thing for me.
How so?
Every time I'm surprised that you're really that short.
Well, why?
It's a surprising thing.
See what I mean? Y'all see what I mean?
So it's really, and two, like, you are short. I'm slouching right now so that we can kind of be even, you know? Like,
do you see what I mean?
All right, I'm gonna let it go.
Yeah, this episode is not about height.
It's not.
It's not.
But she is short.
Yeah.
And that's just what it is. But we love each other. We do. And I'm not a friend of the pod. I'm just.
Yes.
Okay. See how she be yelling? Y'all gonna find out. She be yelling.
How have you been?
I've been good. How are you?
I am well. Been busy.
Living life like it's golden.
Pretty much. You know, family, children, husband, business. It's just been flowing.
So many things going on.
Yeah.
One thing I forgot to mention as well, just let you know that I'm proud of you with your grand opening and everything being so amazing with Arapel. Gotta say that. But, you know, I gifted you the charcuterie board, and you just could not just take the gift because you're hard-headed. And so you gave me a gift card to Koi, and these earrings.
They came quick.
These earrings are from Koi.
They're pretty.
Yeah. So yeah, I want you to know that I wore these because I was like, this is something I got with your gift card.
I'm glad you were able to get something that you wanted.
Yes, thank you so much.
You're welcome. So, just let my peoples know a little bit about you. So they can,
They can know a little something.
A little something about Tyrissa.
I am Tyrissa Yvonne. I'm a transformation coach. I help strong, hyper-independent Black women push past their fear of failure, self-doubt, and judgment. And I hold them accountable to their boundaries and goals. I help them to recognize they have the will, the choice, and the power to not only keep going, but be scared and still get shit done. So, can we cuss here?
Yes.
I said it already.
I mean, they're not monetized yet, so why
it's
not?
Coming.
Yeah. Okay, until
Keyword
then,
was
yet, but until then, we here.
Love it.
And we don't do a bunch of cussing, but
no, definitely not.
A couple every now and then is cool.
They definitely slide.
Yeah, of course. If the energy, if it's needed to put emphasis on something, why not? So, I love that you said that because this episode, I do want to talk about or get in conversation about like moving past fear and what that looks like or what that could look like for others. So, the way that I wanted to start, yes, I am very much into etymology. So, the origin of words and what words mean. And so, I wanted to pull up the etymology for fear. This goes from Middle English, from Old English, and it is sudden danger, sudden attack. So that is like the origin, right, of fear. And then it goes into Old Saxon, far, which means ambush. And then it transitions again into harm, distress, and deception. And then it brings us to the late 20th century, where it just is a state of being afraid, uneasiness caused by possible danger. So that is the etymology as far as the word fear and how it has transitioned over the centuries and decades, right?
Yeah.
So what does fear, how would you define fear?
Fear is that piece that stops you from doing the things that you want to do. A lot of times we try to make fear look like one dimension, right? Like we try to say like, oh, I wasn't scared, but you didn't do it. I wasn't scared, but you didn't show up. I was nervous or I was apprehensive. You were fearful. And in that, like, so all of those words, like, because we have so many, we have like 97 words now, you know, we got all the
synonyms,
right? We got all of them now. And so when we look at it and we break it down, all of it breaks down to us not doing the things that either we said that we were going to do, that we want to do, those thoughts that we have, or those images that we see that we're supposed to make true and make, you know, real and see and, you know, tangible. When we don't do that, that's fear.
Gotcha. And so you show people just by being your authentic self.
That's it.
How to do that, right?
Yes.
Just live a life without fear, doing it scared, right? So
because, and let me say, I'm not doing it without fear. I'm doing it with fear. I'm just willing to do it scared. And yes, I stop myself from doing things, and in those things I shoot myself in my own foot, and then I'm like, okay, I'm holding myself back. But at the same time, I know that in some areas it's all gas, no brakes. And then there's some areas that even for myself I'm still working on every day, because it's okay to do it scared. You just got to be willing to actually do it. I like showing up on this podcast today
because she didn't want to do it.
Did not.
I'm like, you have no other choice.
Did not.
None.
She made me go to my email. She made me sign up. She did not make me come here. I knew that I had to come here, and I was already obedient in that. I knew that I was coming. And that's the thing. I'm not confident not confident in doing this, right? It's not that. It's just the fear of, oh my gosh, like going to sit down and having a conversation and being on a podcast. Oh my gosh. You think of all those things, but this is amazing. So you gotta do it scared.
I find there are things that I do scared and I do with fear. And there's also things that stop me from doing certain things because of fear. There are also times that I move in fear, that I have moved in fear, and it ends up biting me in the ass. Or it ends up not being, because I made a decision out of fear. Like I did an action, I did a thing, but I did it out of fear. And so for me, that was the wrong choice to make.
Right.
And because of that, it ends up biting me in the ass.
I understand.
Kind of how Arapel has started has been because of a choice that I made for my child, moving in fear, and then that coming back to bite me in the ass and trying to figure out how to resolve that issue.
Okay.
That was the start. Elijah, my husband's like, no vaccinations. I said yes to vaccinations. Let him get his vaccinations. He developed eczema. Oh shit, it bit me in the ass. So now I have to figure out how to fix this thing. That, right? Yeah, because I did something moving in fear that I shouldn't have done to begin with.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So that has always been my things, like trying not to move in fear. Because I feel like when people make choices or make decisions in fear can be very disabling.
Agreed.
When you make choices in fear, whether that be not to do a thing or to actually do a thing, but not be the way that you should do it.
Agreed.
Right? I feel like when we do move in fear, or when people, community, just people in the world move in fear, that can be very dangerous.
Agreed. I think with my clients and in general, what I try to coach is will, choice, power, right? So the will is the understanding that you can. So a lot of times we look at a situation when we're talking about something that makes us be fearful, and we say, okay, I can't do that, or I'm not able to do that, or I don't see that side of it, right? So it's having the understanding that we can, or that we're comfortable in that. The choice is understanding that everything we do is a choice, right? So just like you said, you made the choice in fear. Okay, well, on the other side of it, you still had to deal with the consequence or the repercussions of that choice. So no matter what decision you make, everything we do is with a choice. And then, I mean, it is a choice that we make. And then the power is knowing that you're always the shit. I mean, and whatever decision that you make, whatever we decide to do, whatever you choose, your option, as long as you do it confidently and with power, I mean, what's stopping you?
Yeah.
So even to think about for what you chose for Elijah, like, yes, he developed eczema, but on the other side of it, like on this side of it now, you have an entire business. You're helping so many other people grow and develop and heal. And so on this side of it now, and there's now a podcast, there's so many different, you know, so it's like, yeah, you made that choice, but you didn't allow that choice to defeat you.
Yes.
You allowed that choice to then, you said, okay, well, yes, I made this choice. I'm going to stand by this choice, and I'm going to figure out what to do to help me be successful with that choice that I made. So you made lemonade out of lemons.
But not everybody has that ability, right, to pivot, right?
Right.
When something like that happens.
Agreed.
For some people, that can be very crippling.
Agreed.
For them. It's like,
Agreed.
oh no, like, okay, I failed, or I did this thing. Now I have no other choice.
Right.
But to deal with these consequences, and I don't know how to come back from that. I don't know how to get out of that.
You know what Donnie McClurkin said? We fall down, but we get up.
Yours made me snort. I felt it stopped. I stopped it, but it almost came out.
I mean, that's the best.
Yeah.
You want me to sing the rest? You know, it's just.
Yeah.
I mean, we make bad choices sometimes. But do you allow that choice to defeat you forever? When do you get up? Like, when do you choose to get up and stop allowing that to be your excuse?
And to define you.
Because the only person that made that your definition was you. Because you chose to stay there.
Yeah.
So you can stay in the failure, or you can keep going. You see what I did there? I didn't even mean to do it. It was on accident.
Y'all see what I gotta do with it.
It was on accident.
So what would you say
Full circle.
Are some common fears that people have from taking action, or from just something simple as pursuing their goals?
The fear of failure. So, like, literally, I would say failure, self-doubt, and judgment. People are afraid to fail. They're afraid of what failure looks like, and there is no catch-all of failure, right? Like, in our own minds, we determine what failure looks like, and so that in itself is just scary. Self-doubt, you being unsure with yourself and unsure of your capabilities, and then judgment, you being concerned about what everyone else thinks or what everyone else is going to say. So those three things for me, I think, are the biggest components of like how fear takes over people, what people are trying to do. It's like fear of failure. Everybody's scared to fail a little bit.
Yeah. My thing is, mine after, I love my husband because he's most definitely my person to help me dissect all things.
Yeah.
And when some things were happening towards the end of last year and beginning of this year, fiscal year, where some changes was happening as far as where Airpill was going to be, wasn't going to be, all the things. He was like, what has you so bent out of shape? Like, what is it? He's like, let's talk about it. Let's get to the root of it. And once we got to the root, it was uncertainty, not knowing what's coming. But if I believe in spirit, I believe in the Most High, I know that the path is already set for me. The things that I want, I've already manifested, and I will continue to manifest. Right. Then why are you so afraid of that uncertainty? And I still struggle with that a little bit, but I'm doing the work to figure that out. But for sure, for me, it is the uncertainty, not knowing what will or what won't be.
I think we can't look too far ahead sometimes.
Stay in the now.
even sometimes we have too many people looking behind us still. Right? And so if we go too far ahead or too far behind, we get lost. And that is that uncertainty or that fear. And so we gotta embrace where we are. Because I mean, in this moment, to have all the things that you have are things that you never imagined that you had. And so you gotta celebrate those things now. And is that easier said than done? Yes. Say it for the church.
Yeah.
Yes. Like everybody understands. Okay. It's easier said than done, but I mean, you have to do it. You gotta recenter yourself and come back and realize like where we are. And it's today, not tomorrow.
Not yesterday.
Not yesterday either.
We here
We're
right
here
now.
today. Right now.
Present moment.
Present.
Here.
Crip walking. In my Jordans, I have on flats, guys.
You do not have on Jordans.
I have on flats.
So me realizing that, getting to the root of my fear and what that was as far as the uncertainty, like I had to be able to be vulnerable with myself and with my husband to be able to get to the point to figure out what that was. So I kind of want to talk about like how vulnerability and being authentic can be powerful tools when pushing past fear and also connecting with others, which I feel like you do wonderfully.
Thank you. If I'm being honest, I feel like, I think at times I'm too much of an open book for myself, because I'm just willing to give all, say all, whatever to any and everybody. But I think that being vulnerable allows me to be my truest self. So when we're trying to mask how we feel about things, and that's not just fear, right? That's just anything in general. When we're masking how we feel, it's like a waste of time for everyone involved. It is. You wasted your time. Not truly saying how you felt the first place, and your the reality of how you feel or what's stopping you or what's holding you back or your level of, your placement. Like, I don't know. So if you're not willing to be vulnerable, pushing past fear won't ever happen. Like, let's be real. It's not going to happen because you have to be willing to open up and accept and acknowledge that there's fear there in the first place, that there's something that's stopping you. And so if you're not even willing to acknowledge that, where are we going? Yeah. That's how people be wasting your time, because people be wasting my time.
I always felt, I don't feel that way currently, but it was just me moving through like past like childhood things, right? I always felt like my vulnerability was my weakness.
Okay.
So that stopped me from doing a lot of things because I wasn't able to be vulnerable to be able to do so. But now what I have learned is I know who I can be vulnerable with to help me move past those fears, right? Because sometimes we do need a little help.
Agreed.
Right? So I don't just be out here being vulnerable with everybody, because everybody don't deserve that energy.
Agreed.
Right? They don't deserve that. But knowing who you can trust and who you can like open that floor with to be vulnerable with, so that then that those people that do genuinely care for you, want to see you do better, be better, can help you get past the fear.
I agree. I think not only do we have childhood trauma, but we've got just trauma in general. All of us are adults, and we've all, we're all living and growing through different things. So life experiences in general will make all of us in some type of way fearful or even to be vulnerable with the next person. I can even say personally for me, I had a lot of friendships I lost during my first couple years in business as a transformation coach, and so I stepped back from coaching because of my own personal relationships that I was losing, right? Like I felt like I was drowning in the loss of friendships. But on this side of it, being taking that time for myself, taking that time to heal and process and use that for myself, and then also realize that it's okay to go back out and be vulnerable vulnerable with other people,
Mm-hmm.
it helped me to really understand that either way, there's people out there that want to see you win.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of times in our own self, we'll allow our own mind, we'll allow our own thoughts to let us think like, no, we can't trust again.
Mm-hmm.
We can't, because of things that happened in our past,
Mm-hmm.
right? We will say we can't allow people to get close to us. We can't allow that person to know or people to be close or whatever that looks like. But we've got to just be willing to allow people to be in, because people want to see us succeed.
Yeah.
And yes, there are snakes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, let's be real. Yes, there are.
Mm-hmm.
But there are more people out there that want to see you win. And if you believe that, then
Mm-hmm. And everybody can't go.
everybody ain't going.
Even though we may want them to,
Ooh.
we want to carry them with us. We want to take them on this journey. We want to take them down this road with us. I do believe, and I know like a lot of terminology can be very clickbaity and trendy and all the things, but I do know there is a time and there's a season for every person.
Definitely.
Right?
Definitely.
And I do know that as I continue to be on my healing and wellness journey, right, there are going to be people that fall off.
Mm-hmm.
There are going to be people that I'm blood related to.
Yeah.
They're going to be friends I was friends with for years.
Forever.
But if they are not on that same vibration, if they're not on that same energy with me, if they can't see the things that I'm doing is not just for the betterment of me, but for betterment for everyone around me, they can't go.
Yeah.
And it's okay to see that and to grieve that.
Oh, yes. I'm so glad that you use the word grieve, because I tell people all the time that we grieve friendships.
We do.
And we grieve all relationships. And so people have to understand that, just like what you're saying, everybody can't go. And the seasonal people are real.
Mm-hmm.
As much as we fight it. And
Mm-hmm.
we'll think that like a season means like, oh, this short-term person that came in my life was seasonal.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-mm.
They came, they gave you the lesson that you need to give, or you gave them the lesson that they need.
And that could have taken several years
Mm-hmm.
for that lesson to be what it's supposed to be. And so y'all have made a great relationship and a great bond. Excuse me. And you look up and that friendship is gone.
Mm-hmm.
And so you do have to grieve that. You have to let that process happen. You've got to mourn them. Go through the stages of grief,
Mm-hmm.
as crazy as it sounds, and on the other side of it, heal.
Mm-hmm.
And then go back out there and pursue new relationships.
Mm-hmm.
Like, no one's telling you to do all that at the same time, because that's a lot.
Yeah.
Heal first.
Making new friends as an adult.
It's hard in general. It's
trash.
ghetto out here. It's ghetto out here.
It's trash.
It's ghetto out here. And people are weird.
Mm.
People are weird. They are.
Mm.
You don't know people's real intentions until you really talk to them. You get to know people more and more, and people are...
Oh, yeah, I experienced that last year. Yeah.
You gonna tell me? No, on camera? Okay.
Yeah, I'll tell you. We'll talk about it.
No, on camera.
No, not on camera. I don't give people no clout around
Come on now. Ooh, speaking of not giving the people the clout, and I also think that's a part of my growth. So one, we went to a vegan restaurant here in Columbia, and the wait is always long, right? And so, but the food is good, and so we ordered the food. They tell us what time to come pick it up. 35 minutes after, the food is still not ready. And so Chelsea goes in, and so like she steps out to take my phone call, and I'm like, what in the world was taking you so long? At this point, because we was already hungry before we ordered the food.
Now you hangry.
Right, so like 30 minutes after, and then you still got to drive 15 minutes home. My brain has done way too much math, okay? And at this point, cancel the whole order, right? I can go to the store quick at this point. And so she goes in, she gets the food, I guess she has the angry face. She comes out, she leaves. I get a call a couple minutes later. Oh, y'all have 15% off your next order. Okay, but we had already decided we're not going back. When I get my food is salty, and the sweet potato fries is like ice cold. So I call back angry, like, hey, my food is cold, this food is salty. The lady's like, ma'am, it couldn't have been cold. Well, what we're not going to do is play with me like that, right? But I'm not a restaurant manager. Let's not play that. Let's not play that game, right? So I had to So I said, this is how angry I am. I'm so angry that I cannot make a Facebook post about my bad customer service right now, because I don't want it to come from a place of people are thinking I'm just being mean to your business, because I know people trust what I say when it comes to food on social media.
Mm-hmm.
And so now that I've said this, now I've got the owner's attention. Now he's like, oh my God, I'm so sorry, I'll fix it. You come back, da da da. I'm like, nah, I don't want to come back. You know, give me a refund. He gives me a refund, whatever. And I'm sitting there angry, like so angry, mad. Like, when I calm down, the words gonna go together, and I'm gonna put this post together. I only got a picture, but that's fine. You know, I'm just angry. And I get a text from him. Signed, like, addressing me and Chelsea, saying, I'm terribly sorry. You guys have supported us for many years. Da, 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 da. We don't want to lose your business. Here's a $90 credit for you to come back, and da 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 da, right? So I don't make the Facebook post. I haven't made any posts. The text did so much more for me than what I thought it did, right? So, like, I thought that I had to go to social media and get the message out that, one, this business is trash. People already know you trash. Okay? 1. 2, I don't have to help with that. Number 2, you know who I am. You see who I am clear as day. Like, you took the time to send not only me, not only address me, but my wife, and you spell both names correctly. In a text message to say clearly, like, you messed up. You messed up in big time. And I could have went to social media and said, don't support this business. Don't do any of that. But instead, I chose silence. And silence, this time around, is so much more powerful. And I'm even I said I'm going to post the text. Because even to get the text, I'm just like, status.
Yeah, silence can be powerful. And that's something I have a problem with.
What, the silence?
No, like, ready to go. Like,
oh, I stay there.
Yeah, like ready to go. And again, which is
you
crazy.
Got the Twitter fingers?
Like, I'm a Cancer. Well, no, I'm like this mouth. Like, you gonna know. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm a Cancer. My husband's the Aries. He's fire. I'm water. But you would think that I'm all Cancer because I'm all fire because I'd be like,
let's go.
And he's like,
I'm
babe,
an earth sign,
like,
I think something. But I'm a Virgo, so like I stay ready.
Well, true, but so mine is double water Cancer. My Trinity. So my top 3. So my sun is Cancer.
I don't know what my Trinity is. How I find it out?
We'll find it out. I'll show you how. I'm a sun Cancer. My moon is Cancer, and my rising is Aries.
That's why I be on fire all the time.
So I'm a double water Cancer, and I'm married to an Aries. I'm not.
You said double water.
That means that water is emotion, right? And so
you're fluid.
So depending on where I'm at and what it is, you can get all these words. And so me, like, I'll be ready to, like, oh, you gonna know what you
together.
Yes. And sometimes I'm like, babe,
you don't have to get them together. Not every time.
Yeah. So I've learned that about myself too. But
growth will get you there.
Yeah.
And acknowledging, because you had to acknowledge that you was a thug. And I'm sure that took a while. I'm sure you were like, I'm not a thug. I don't know what you're talking about.
Tommy Kaya and Tamika are 2 different people.
One more time. So, Tamika has been around longer than Tommy Kaya. So, Tamika is the double water.
Excuse me.
That's what you're saying.
No, Tommy Kaya is the water. Tamika is the Aries.
Nah, because Tamika
lit a fire to your ass.
Tamika is fluid. Tamika is fluid. Does Tamika be outside ever?
What do you mean?
Does Tamika ever be outside? Like, do you ever allow the other side of you to take over and you just be like, hold up for a sec, or you try to keep the light switch off?
When necessary. She come out. Like, don't play with the things that I care about. Don't play with the people that I care about.
I could definitely see you going like,
no, I do not stand for blatant disrespect. And there are a lot of things I let roll off my back. Like, you're not
worth my time.
Not worth it. But or if I have told you that a thing bothers me or that it affects me in a way, and then you choose to ignore, or you can get cussed out and I'm gonna leave you alone. Like, I'm just, like, yeah, I'm good.
So we're talking about so much about each other in this podcast right now, but I think that's why we get along so well. And you say I'm a thorn in your hip. I just don't get it. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I'm treat me like that.
Very much, yeah.
Did you tell people what was in our mocktail?
I thought I did. No, you were doing content and I said it in the mocktail.
You're right.
So this is my Love on Me mocktail. In this mocktail, we have some moringa, we have some hibiscus, as well as a little bit of sage. And I added some salsa water and some ice, a little bit of agave, and it's on point.
It's everything. 10 out of 10. Like, I'm going to take it with me. I don't understand how I am, but...
That's a big cup right there.
You got a jar or something?
No, it's a big old cup right there. The QT cup. You put it in there.
What is it now?
So let's get back on topic. So
you have to do another clap?
No, I don't. We're just going. I didn't stop.
I was joking. You should probably just edit
see?
out.
You see. All right. So
how much liquid does the spoon hold?
See, you being.
I'm sorry. It's the ADHD. My bad. Let's go back. My bad. I'm gonna sit the spoon down. Sorry.
I don't even know where we was at. All right. I know what I want to talk about next. So, highlighting our small victories, right? Like, I am a firm believer in celebrating all victories. I don't care how small or how big they are. Like, and I'm like getting my children to do the same. Like, my daughter got one of her artworks was put into the school magazine a couple months ago. And she was just like mad nonchalant about it. Like, I'm like, girl,
that's amazing.
Did you tell your fathers? Did you tell your grandparents? Like, you didn't tell, like, no.
Nobody, right.
I was like, when did you find out about this? A week ago, and I'm just not hearing about it. Like, what are we doing? Like, I don't, like, it may seem small,
but let's make it huge.
But let's make it big. Yeah. Let's make it, you know what I'm saying? Because it is. You are a high schooler who is homeschooled. You're taking college art classes. And your artwork was actually put into the school magazine. And you have artwork hanging up in the library at the airport campus. You're at 15.
And I told her all of that was awesome. I think we're just so used to dimming our own light. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if that's a society thing or if that's just we're just used to dimming our light. Mm-hmm. And so we just have to have that reminder that we're supposed to celebrate those small wins, because one, no one's going to celebrate us without us celebrating ourselves. Mm-hmm. That's for one. But two, if you're not celebrating the small things, what are we working towards? Mm-hmm. You know, like, we just working toward the big goals, and the big goals are like, you put the timeline on the goal, you know, so when you hit the milestones, and the milestones are the things that are taking you to the big goal, we should be able to celebrate those things.
Because if not, then the journey just feels like you just work.
It's like a marathon. Yeah,
and there's no play, there's no fun, there's no...
You're training, but you never, right.
Yeah, along the way, it's just work. Like, no, like, that's something like...
And you have to celebrate so that you're able to see the next part of the story or the next part that's supposed to be completed. Mm-hmm. Like, if you're not willing to celebrate this now, and then let's be clear, if you're not able to celebrate here now, how are you going to celebrate later? Mm-hmm. Do you even know how to celebrate yourself?
I also feel like in celebrating, you show gratitude, right? When you celebrate, you also show gratitude for that moment, for that thing, for that accomplishment. Yes. And the Most High is going to give you more of that.
Oh, definitely.
Oh, you grateful for this that may seem so small to others. You find it to be amazing and big, and you're just so grateful and show gratitude for that. Let me give you more of that. Right. Let me because I see you doing the work. That's what Most High gonna say. I see you doing the work. I see you staying disciplined and being steward and doing what you're supposed to be doing, and you're showing gratitude while you do it. Let me give you more of that.
So the question is, are you gonna do it? The question is, are you gonna do it? Are you gonna be able to celebrate yourself? And then doesn't it go back to the choice? Like, are you willing to make the choice to do it? So are you choosing to not do it in fear? Once you get past fear, you gotta then be willing to celebrate. Like with our mocktail. That's supposed to have tequila in it.
we're not doing this.
I definitely put that in my notes. So
I did too, and
1
then
star.
I realized
1 star.
Whatever.
Does someone give me a review?
What?
Does someone do I get an email about a review? Testimonial? I'm definitely putting in 1 star.
She lying. Anyway.
I am.
So as we wrap up the episode.
I'm lying. Make the sentence clear.
I want to know, what words would you give to encourage others to, one, identifying their fears, challenge the limiting of those beliefs for those fears, and working towards their goals?
You can be scared and still get shit done.
Mm-hmm.
Keep going, period. Those 2 are, I think, my really simple ones, right? The realest of the real of who Tyrissa is are we gonna do it or not?
Mm-hmm.
So, are you gonna do it or not? We can talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
We can plan it, dream it,
write it down,
draw it up. We can quote it,
create vision boards,
every last bit of it.
Mm-hmm.
But are you gonna go then do it?
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're not gonna do it, what are we talking about?
Falls on deaf ears.
What are we talking about? And a lot of times we will have the dream and have the plan, but we won't go execute it. So remembering you can be scared and still get shit done. And I mean, you can be scared out of your mind and still do it. And then you have to remember to keep putting 1 foot in front of the other. You just got to do it.
And I feel like once you make that choice to do it, I do believe that the way that the universe works is that it's going to put you in places that you need to be to find the community that then helps you to continue on the journey of getting it done.
Agreed.
Right? Because let's take our friendship, for example. I haven't recorded a podcast episode in over a year. Because multiple things. Business, I'm still trying to figure stuff out, homeschooling children, multiple things, right? But in me meeting people like you, meeting Tatrina, just the people that I've met just in this last year, I now have the universe has now brought people into my life to be able to put me into certain positions where I'm able to do more, have certain conversations, not just for myself, but for others. So I think when and it's just me just having the idea to start a podcast. And even though it's been a big gap in between me doing anything with this podcast, it's still here. It ain't going nowhere. But now I have the community to be able to continue the conversations, and to bring certain conversations to others.
But I'll tell you, you've been doing work before this. Because I remember when we first met at Noma, literally, I think you got a couple posts on your social media, and I first day meeting you was yelling at you.
Yeah, she disrespectful.
First day, and was like, "What are you doing? Post more."
But again,
and
right?
You've been you post more, and so that brought you even more of your community, which then in turn made you more comfortable to even be here. So it's you've been doing the work, you've been choosing to do the work, and all of that work has brought you further and further along in your journey. So it's it's awesome, one, to just know you and see you and be able to be a part of your journey just a little bit, just to celebrate you a part, because it's amazing to see.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you're a living witness, you're doing it.
Yeah.
You're living proof. You do it.
You are too.
Oh, no, I thank you. I'm a thug.
Okay. She go with her thugness. So, Tyrissa, tell the people where they can find you, what you got going on, all the things.
You can't find me anywhere. Don't look for me. I'm joking. Okay, so you can find me on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook under Tyrissa Yvonne. That's Tyrissa, Yvonne, Yvonne. I don't know. I'm in the streets, guys. Just follow me on social media. I've got a lot of things coming this year, but at the same time, I'm trying to decide what's coming first. So I think right now I'm trying to do too many things at one time, and so I'm trying to slow myself down just a little bit. But I know that I have a course coming out soon and just more content to help people push past fear. So my goal this year, like I said, is to post my content and put it out there. I have a lot of content, so getting the content out there, doing that, and then just going from there.
Cool beans. I love that for you. So thank you guys so much for tuning in to Rooted in Muddy Waters podcast, your podcast, all things healing, growth, and enlightenment, healing all aspects of self, growth to our higher self, and the enlightenment that we need to do so. Until next time, peace, family.